What's up, gang? Today I want to talk to you about the single best strategy there is for getting started in real estate investing. And it's a strategy that if I would have known this when I was 18 and implemented it, I'd be a millionaire many more times over than we are now. So here are my 5 methods to house hacking your first investment property, and it starts now. All right, now before we get started, if you find the investor content that I'm starting to put out valuable, would you please do me a favor? Please like the video, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification for me. That gives me the feedback that I know that the work we're putting in is reaching the right people. And here's the thing, I'm working really hard to put out valuable content, stuff that is not theory-based, stuff that if you take action, this is actionable advice that I'm giving you. So I want to put out stuff that would actually change your financial fortunes, assuming you have the time and the courage and the energy to put these things into place. So if that's the case, please subscribe, and I'd really appreciate it. So for me, I wanted the autonomy and the option to work for myself. I didn't like the 9-to-5 gig. As a matter of fact, it was more of like an 8-to-7 gig, which is really why I just wanted out of the corporate environment and wanted to get into real estate investing. I achieved that freedom through real estate investing, and so can you if you decide to get started now and do something each day to move your business forward. And don't give up. That's the key. So let's get into it. For those of you that are unfamiliar with house hacking is a term to describe an investment approach whereby you purchase a 1 to 4 unit property, living in one portion or one unit, one section of the property, and rent out the others, such that you are offsetting your own personal living expenses while owning the property and allowing appreciation and debt pay down to work for you, right? Because as you make payments, the debt goes down. Now, if you do this right, not only can you completely eradicate what's likely one of your largest living expenses, i.e. your house payment, but there's some instances where you can actually make more than your mortgage payment, all the while still paying down the loan and realizing the potential of real estate appreciation, which we've seen is going at an incredible rate for like 6 years running now. Appreciation has been through the roof. So a lot of people say house hacking is not an option for them, and there's a variety of excuses. I get all of them, so I'm kind of ready to deal with all of them. My location is too expensive, or my spouse or my significant others won't go for it. We have kids, it's not in the cards for us. There isn't enough inventory for house hacking to work. We hear it all the time from all directions. So I'm here to tell you that there is definitely a method for you to do this. This is very doable. Where there's a will, there is a way, and all you need is just a little bit of can-do attitude. Let's talk about the 5 different methods of house hacking. Method number 1, the traditional house hack. I call it the traditional house hack because it's essentially the most popular one. It's the one that I usually get people started with. This is when you purchase a 2 to 4 unit property with a 3.5% down FHA loan. 3.5% down, small price to pay to get into a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 asset. So you live in one unit, perhaps with a roommate, and then rent out the other units. The rent from your roommate plus the rent from the other units should cover, or pretty darn close to covering, your entire mortgage. This strategy works great for low to mid-price markets. We're in Southeast Virginia. This is a great strategy for our market. And as an example, Rachel and I are actually flipping a 3-unit property in Portsmouth, Virginia right now as we speak. We just listed it. It's a fully renovated 3-unit triplex. We listed it for $399,000. Now, if you were to take out a 30-year fixed mortgage at 4.5% interest rate with a small down payment of 3.5%, your mortgage payment would be around $19.58 a month. Now, let's say taxes and insurance, which will also get wrapped into that mortgage payment, are going to be another $350 a month. That puts your total monthly expenses at $2,308 a month. Now, here's the fun part. After pulling some comparables, the units on this building rent on average for $1,200 a month. So this is a perfect house hack. If you choose to live in, say, unit 1, you actually pick your unit because the house is vacant. So you go in, you pick your unit, and then rent the other 2 out for $1,200 a month. Your rent would in fact cover your entire mortgage. And if you decided to bring in a roommate into the unit that you're already living in, you'd actually get paid to live there. So this is an incredible way not to just significantly lower your expenses, but to actually build the foundation for your long-term wealth. It's my opinion that those that are serious about creating financial freedom for themselves and their families via real estate should house hack a home at least once every 2 years. You move into it, you get it leased up, you move out, you rent your old unit, and then you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. Because over time, what's going to happen is your rents are going to go up, meanwhile your debt is going down, which means you'll start to see significant cash flow coming in monthly over time. And then if you save that monthly cash flow, all of the excess money that's coming in, your rent's above your expenses, you save that cash flow and purchase more property, there's a snowball effect that occurs invariably over time. And usually what happens is within about 5 to 7 years, people start to realize that their job could very well become obsolete. Number 2, the rent by room house hack. So this is a great strategy where prices are extremely high and the barrier to entry is difficult. Places like New York, LA, Chicago, San Diego, certain parts of Florida where demand is just through the roof and prices are really crazy. Purchasing a single family home, especially as a first-time home buyer, opens up a lot of financing opportunities. There's 0% down options, there's 3%, there's 3.5% down options on an FHA loan like we just talked about, there's 5% down conventional options. So there are a variety of things to consider that are low money in options when purchasing a single family home. So this strategy is very simple. You purchase a home, you live in one bedroom, and then you rent out all the other bedrooms. The more bedrooms the house has, the more rental income you can generate. Pretty simple. In our market, you can get significantly more when you rent by the room versus renting the whole house. So for instance, a 5-bedroom home around where we live, maybe it'll rent for $1,800 to $2,100 a month. Whereas if you buy a 5-bedroom home and you rent out the rooms, you could probably get $700 a room. So as an investment strategy, not only will you likely get more rental income from house hacking a single family and then renting the rooms, but you'll also see more appreciation if you're purchasing a single family home because they tend to appreciate faster when compared to, say, a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex. So this is a great strategy to get started when the area you're in is super expensive. I actually have a student that lives right here in Suffolk, Virginia. We helped him get a 3-bedroom home. His mortgage is, I think, like $950 a month. He lives in 1 bedroom and then rents out the other 2 bedrooms for $500 to $600 a piece. Actually, DMAC rents a room from him as we speak. So he lives there for free and his roommates are paying his house payment for him. That is not a bad gig, especially if you're him. Method number 3, the living room hack. So this one's fun because the living room is called the living room for a reason, right? So we're always thinking about highest and best use with real estate, and that's why we call this the living room strategy. I have several students that I'm mentoring that are using this living room strategy, and this is also another go-to strategy where prices are relatively high. So I have a student that purchased a really nice duplex in Tampa, Florida, and rented out one side, the actual upstairs, he rented out on a long-term lease. However, that rent didn't nearly cover the entire mortgage, so he used the other unit. He rented out 2 rooms via Airbnb, so he did short-term rental units on 2 of the rooms, and then he put up a wall, a divider in the living room to make one part his bedroom and the other part a living room to service the other bedroom. So like I said, this strategy is really great for those markets where price points are just higher. He owned this property, he's owned it for almost 3 years now, and his value has nearly doubled. He bought it 3 years ago for $350, now it's worth almost $600K. So that's $250,000 in tax-free money. Meanwhile, he wasn't making a mortgage payment, and all it took was just a little bit of creativity and, you know, a little bit of patience. He didn't mind being inconvenienced by living in the living room. Again, some of this goes back to how committed you are to beginning to build this snowball effect for yourself financially. So method number 4, and I like to call the no excuses hack. So for all of you that's like, it can't be done, I got one for you too. This is known as the trailer hack, and this takes hacking to the next level, but it exists for those that are in a spot where it's extremely difficult to house hack. If you're willing to do whatever it takes, there's always a method to get started to this. So here's what it looks like. You can purchase a decent camper for probably $2,000. You buy a camper, you park it in your driveway or you park it in your backyard and you live in that and you rent out your main house. So I've seen people do this. I've seen people renovate trailers. Actually, I have a friend who's renovating a trailer in his garage right now. So it's super in vogue. Tiny spaces are like super popular. You see it on HGTV all the time that like people love tiny spaces. It's all over the place. So like you could actually use the trailer portion potentially as an Airbnb rental. So I've seen people that buy like a large plot of land and put out like 5, 6, 7, 8 trailers. Now this goes into a whole thing of zoning. You have to figure out what the rules are in the particular place that you're looking to do this. But if you need a strategy to get started, this is a very low barrier to entry. All you need is a couple $1,000, some can-do attitude, and a place to put your trailer, and boom, you are up and running as a real estate investor. Number 5, this is the ADU house hack, or accessory dwelling unit house hack. So this is when you purchase a property that comes with like a detached space, a garage, or maybe it already has a finished accessory dwelling unit ADU, or maybe you just decide to build one yourself. My very first investment utilized the ADU house hack approach. We had a detached garage in our backyard, we fixed it up, we rented it out, and they paid for more than 50% of our mortgage payment for a number of years. We saved that money and then bought another property and another one. All the unit needs is a small kitchenette and an operative bathroom and a comfortable bed to sleep in. You rent that out full-time, or you Airbnb it while you and your family live in the bigger, cozier home. So this method is best suited for those of you that have a family, have kids, have dogs, so that you guys can have your own space while you're still bringing in some passive income from your ADU and getting started in rental real estate investing. So there you have it, the 5 house hack methods. And as you can see, house hacking comes in all shapes and sizes. The strategy you deploy totally depends on your current situation. There's typically a trade-off in terms of luxury and return, and the more sacrifice that you're willing to make on the front end of your investing journey, the quicker you're going to be able to build that cash flow snowball effect momentum on the front end that we've talked about earlier. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like and leave a comment, hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you for watching. I'm Jonathan Beasley, That Fit Team, professionals in real estate and passionate about people. See you soon.